Hello everyone, Darth Million here, doing another video on the Forest Moon Assault battles, how to beat the Mythic tier of the Murder Bear event, affectionately called the Murder Bears. What do we got here? We're going to be running a Palpatine lead with no Zeta, Grand Admiral Thrawn, Darth Vader, Grand Moff Tarkin, and BB-8 for this. Now, this is actually a pretty simple assault battle, even on Mythic. I use all G12 characters except for BB-8. I know that many of you won't have G12 tunes just yet. I think but you should be able to do this even with, I would say, G9 and good mods, or G10 and average mods. If you're a newer player out there, don't want you to be discouraged. You should probably check out the other videos I have up on modding, on intro to mods and so on, so you can basically make sure that your team is optimized for these sorts of battles and for arena and a whole other host of usage. But assuming your team has either average or decent mods, G9, G10, you should be able to get through this. But certainly there are no Zetas required. I do have Zetas on Ebb and Flow Grand Admiral Thrawn's Unique, which extends Fracture and adds a tenacity and counter chance while Thrawn is fractured. And I have Tarkin's Unique Zeta, which is pretty sweet because it adds 20% potency for each debuffed enemy, which makes it great for assault battles, for territory battles as well. Anything where there's a lot of enemies that Tarkin can throw his crit chance down and offense down debuffs on, that Zeta is going to really come in handy on the Unique. So I recommend it. I also run Tarkin in Fleet. I do recommend it. It wouldn't be one of the first Zetas I'd rush out and get, and Tarkin's an often underrated and overlooked character in the game, and I've sing his praises for quite a long time. But the Zeta is certainly not required. The reason, there's two mechanics that are at play here that are going to help us beat this quite easily. The first mechanic is Tarkin's Unique, which is, again, without the Zeta, his Unique allows him to not his Unique. The abilities on his basic, every time he uses his basic, he's charging up his potency. So literally what you want to be doing is spamming his basic all throughout the first 7 rounds of this assault battle. And each time he uses basic, his potency is going up. Why is that important? Well, 2 reasons. One is if his potency is, the main reason is if his potency can be converted to a percentage increase in offense. And since the potency can stack forever, if you have, after using his basic, 100 times or whatever it is, if you have potency in the, 7, 8, 900% range, when you convert that to offense by using his AoE, it does 700, 800, 900% more damage. So the goal is to basically give Tarkin as many turns as possible. You want to make him fast. I have him at 219. You can have him in the 180s range, I think, comfortably, because under Palpy lead, speed isn't requirement. It just gives you that extra edge. But because under the Palpy lead, he gets bonus turn meter every time he applies debuffs, and he applies, 2 debuffs per tune every time. So you basically want to spam debuffs. Spam is his second special, which is the debuffs. And spam is basic whenever the debuffs are on cooldown, and that way you'll give him a bunch of turns, and you'll be able to use his basic as much as possible, and that's going to charge up his potency. And we're basically going to just wait until round 8 and make it rain, and then wipe out a lot of the Murder Bears. So that's Tarkin's component of strategy. The second thing you want to be doing is you want to be spamming covert data transfer on BB-8, so that he's handing out secret intel, but more importantly, he's reducing the cooldown on Illuminated Destiny. We're going to use Illuminated Destiny once on round 4, and then again we'll use it in round 8. And so the important thing is we want to make sure we're going into round 8 with full turn meter. So let's get going. I'm going to try to rush through this because I know this is the most boring part. This is something that you probably don't need help with. If you're struggling with the first 7 rounds of the Murder Bear event, you probably need to develop your tunes just a little bit more, or maybe look at modding them. I'm pretty active on Discord, so if my mod videos, you can obviously comment on the mod videos in the comment section. I'll read and respond to as many comments as possible, but I'd be happy to invite you to our Discord server at the Alderaan Travel Agency if you want to talk to me more about mods. So again, throwing debuffs up on all the tunes. Resisting the urge to use the AoE. The AoE is super handy because it removes a bunch of turn meter. See here. Apologize for the laggy gameplay, guys. I think I need a new phone. Okay. Just gonna fracture this guy. Looking good so far. None of this is worrying. The fact that I'm taking a beating from these guys. Everyone's taking a beating, so don't take it personally when it happens to you. Having Thrawn the live up is so key because Thrawn, he's probably, I would say, best or second best tune in the game. I love RJT, so I think she's the best tune in the game for me right now. I'm really happy to have unlocked her. She's so cool. But, Thrawn's one of the best tunes in the game because he really does so much. He's got such a sleek and elegant kit. The restore protection, turn meter manipulation, and fracture. They just work together so well, and they just create a whole host of opportunities for you. So I'm not worried at all about getting my butt kicked like I am now because, as you just saw, Thrawn restores protection. And everything's working out. And I'll have plenty of time during this next round, round 4. I'm going to pause and do some commentary here about what's happening. So Teebo, as you can see, has a skull above his head, which means he's highly lethal. Throwing the debuffs on in case any of them hit me. I'm not going to use the AoE, resist the urge. You'll see why in round 8. Yeah, that's going to get cleansed quite a bit. If I had a Zeta on Palpy, those cleanses would be super useful because it'd be feeding me turn meter. This might be a bit tougher than this will be a bit tougher than if I had the Zeta on Palpy lead because there's lots of opportunities here for cleanses, both by the Ewoks and by myself with doing kill shots with Culling Blade and so on. That's basically acting as a cleanse. So you see, I have Illuminated Destiny up. I got through it in 4 rounds, which means once I pop this, I want to get it back up as quickly as possible, and we'll go about doing that deliberately. So let's pop Illuminated Destiny here. Okay, everyone goes nuts with the buffs, and we'll just one-shot that Ewok Elder there. Hopefully ability block. That's okay. Oh, I messed up. I meant to throw up Tarkin's debuffs. And the reason why you want to throw up Tarkin's debuffs every chance you get is because you want to feed him another turn. Give him as many turns as possible. Now this is what we need. We need fracture to get on this. Now the heat's off because we have Teebo fractured. Let's throw some debuffs on there. Clear that. Good shape here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sweet time killing Teebo. This is going to be a bit boring, but you can see I'm using mostly basics. I want to do a few things. I want to reduce my cooldowns and all my other abilities. I want to get Illuminated Destiny back up. I want to restore protection to all my tunes that need a protection boost. So I'm not going to use Culling Blade. I'm not really worried about Tebow moving because I have Fracture back up. If Tebow decides that he wants to fill up his turn meter, he's super slow. If he wants to try to fill up his turn meter again, that's fine. Go for it, bro. I'm going to Fracture you again. So I'm not too worried about Tebow at all. Not going to waste Illuminated Destiny on this guy. He's not going anywhere. No need to even Fracture him. I am just going to basic through. And let's see here. Throw the debuffs up. Let's see who needs some protection restored. Okay. Now I'll start attacking a little bit because I've pretty much got what I need out of this. Everything's kind of replenished. Nothing's really on cooldown. Okay, so now back to business. Let's see. I'll use Culling Blade here for the extra turn. Force Crush. And again, once you Force Crush, you're getting a bonus turn pretty much every time. Very easy. Very tempting to use Illuminate Destiny, but I'm not going to. Let's see here. Just use that stun. Keep the heat off of me. Throw those debuffs up. Keeping those debuffs up from Tarkin is a surefire way to keep the heat off of your tunes because it just cuts their damage in half. And the tunes are crit heavy, especially Wicket's crit heavy. So, you know, crit chance down is super useful. Reduces your crit chance by 25%. I mean, that's a game changer. So here we go. These guys are a bit tanky. Yep. Going well so far. I took a few hits, but nothing I couldn't handle. There you go, get some stun going. And just take it nice and easy, just basic my way out of this. I will do a protection restore. That'll come off of cooldown in round 7. Basically by the end of round 7, everything needs to be off of cooldown. I need to basically end round 7 with my BB-8 up. Alright, so here we go. I will use Fracture on Ewok Elder. And it's the reason I'm going to use an Ewok Elder is because Thrawn is so fast, he'll come out of Fracture and be able to restore the cooldown, or remove the cooldown of Fracture. Same for Force Crush. Even if Force Crush is on a 4-turn cooldown, I can take my time killing these murder bears, even though I'm hitting pretty hard. There we go. Probably didn't need to use Force Crush, to be honest. Regretting it a little bit now. So, what am I going to do? Throw the debuffs up again. Hit with the basic. And I'm going to use Culling Blade on the weakest. And then, let's see. Now, I have to be strategic here. Turn order is, after Thrawn goes, then Palpy's going to go, then BB-8. So basically, this Ewok is one hit away from being killed. Palpy also has the lowest on protection. So I'm going to use the Thrawn second ability to give Palpy a protection restore, swap turn meter with him, which means after Palpy goes, then Thrawn, then BB-8. So what's going to happen is Palpy's going to shock this tune, this Ewok, and then we're going to go into round 8 where Thrawn will be up with Fracture. And then we're just going to Fracture Logray. Hope I'm pronouncing that right, Logray. Here we go. Fracture for Logray. Pop Illuminate Destiny. Ooh, that was probably dumb because it just gave Thrawn a ton of turn meter. But I guess the lesson there is you don't want to fracture before before Illuminated Destiny happens, and the reason for that is that's if you don't have. Sorry, let me start over. If you don't have the ebb and flow zeta, you do not want to fracture low gray before you pop Illuminated Destiny. The reason why is because ebb and flow allows you to reduce Thrawn's turn meter. I'm sorry. The reason why is because Illuminated Destiny gives everyone 80% turn meter, so Thrawn basically is almost at his next turn. Once he gets into the turn, fracture's over, and it's on a 2-turn cooldown, and you're going to be in trouble with Logray doing his AoE days, and it's just going to be a mess. So, because I have the ebb and flow zeta, I can spam specials. I can basically use special assist to get me out of this mess I just created for myself. I'm kind of glad that happened, so you can see how to recover from mistakes like that. So you see Thrawn's turn meter keeps going down. Now this is what I've been waiting for. I'm going to charge up. Tarkin's AoE does even more damage once he throws his debuffs up and he gets potency up. So I'm going to actually wait until that becomes available, the potency up from the debuffs from Tarkin becomes available, so you can throw up potency up. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to shock Ewok Elder. BB-8. Really got to pop this AoE. It's not going to happen. Thrawn's going to get a turn before I pop the AoE. Let's see. That's not good. I'm stuck behind Paplu's taunt. So, that's not good. So, use Thrawn's basic there. Now I'm going to throw the debuffs up. Debuffs are back up. And let's make it rain. Let's see how much damage we do. Look at that. Look at that. So, again, the power of Tarkin's AoE mechanic. A lot of people overlook it. It's really amazing. That just did most of my work for me. I just have to kill Chirpa because Chirpa is a source of revive. So now there's not going to be any more Ewok revives. This is still a difficult. These Ewoks are really pesky. It's still difficult with low gray still being up. They don't have any heal because Ewok Elder's dead. They don't really have. They're on their last legs, but I wouldn't underestimate them. So I'm just going to go back to Tarkin, throw his debuffs up again, just to neutralize any damage the Ewok are going to do. It just cuts their damage in half. So, they're going to have a bit of a recovery here. That's fine. It's like their last gasp. That's fine with Tarkin throwing those debuffs up. I don't have to worry too much about them getting out of control. Get a stun out here. 3 stuns. That's great. I don't even need the RNG. I could have gotten 0 stuns. I'm still firmly in control. Let's use this AoE while I still have my office up for good measure. It's fine. Didn't do much because, again, the damage from the AoE comes from from Tarkin charging it up with his basic. The more times you hit the basic, the more damage it's going to do, and it exponentially increases as well. So, yeah, it was pretty quick work. I mean, it's just a bit annoying to finish it off because this is not. I wouldn't call this a high DPS team. It's a burst damage team. Culling Blade is the main source of damage here. Once Tarkin's spent his potency, his charged up potency on the AoE, it resets his potency back to 0, so you gotta start building it all over again using the basic. And you're just not gonna have enough time to build the basic, to build up his basic to do that kind of damage again. It needs that full 7 rounds of spamming his basic to be able to do that kind of damage. And that's it. So yeah, it's not a high damage team, so once you wipe out a bunch of Ewoks with that beautiful AoE, it takes a little while to mop it up, but I fully appreciate that because my tunes are G12, I have a lot more protection, a lot more health than a tune that is G10, G9. But you can do it with mods. It'll be a bit trickier and a bit hairy, and there'll be less room for mistakes, so you might have to do a few restarts. but this is something you definitely can do. All you need is a Tarkin G9, G10, and just really use that mechanic of charging up his potency with his basic and then using that AoE to do massive, massive damage. A side note, that AoE strategy works fantastically well in raids as well. If you can charge it up through H-Pit or through Hat. I actually used to run Tarkin under an Akbar lead instead of Han Solo in that P3, P4 solo team, and it worked pretty well. Could get all the way down to solo P3, all of P3, and get down to about 30% of P4. Which is pretty good. He's not a high damage tune, but if you really save up that AoE, it works wonders. So well, there you go, guys. I hope that's been helpful. The video went a bit longer than I expected it to, but you know, I hope that will help you clear the event. And please like and subscribe this video and subscribe to my channel. I'll be putting up a lot more of these videos. The goal is to give players at every level the tools they need to clear these events. So I hope I did that today. Anyway, I'm looking forward to reading the comments, and you know, this is my first real video, so you know, be gentle. Okay, guys, until next time, keep on gaming.